What's good, guys? Knicks Daily here back. Today I'm going to be previewing the upcoming season, talking about the rotations, expectations, how many games do I see the Knicks winning. Starting right into it, we've got to talk about Donovan Mitchell. So the latest Mitchell news is that the talks have stalled. Like the Knicks and Mitchell haven't really gotten anywhere over the past 2 weeks, and it's pretty obvious. The Jazz want 6 to 7 first-round picks and young players for Mitchell. And of course, the Knicks would be willing to give up like 4 or 5 first-round picks and young players, but they're not willing to go up to where the Jazz want. And if I'm the New York Knicks, I don't need Donovan Mitchell. The New York Knicks will not win the championship next season with Donovan Mitchell. They won't win the championship the year after that with Donovan Mitchell. The Knicks are basically, I'm not going to say they're rebuilding. They're kind of retooling because, I mean, the Knicks just, well, I guess to this point it was 2 years ago. They made the playoffs. And then last season, obviously, they failed to make the play-in tournament. But it's going to take the Knicks at least 2 to 3, maybe even 4 seasons to be able to become a contender. I know a lot of Knicks fans don't want to hear that because it's New York and you look at the Yankees. I don't watch hockey, but I'd imagine the Rangers are pretty good. I feel like they always are. Or maybe you're an Islanders fan, I don't really know. But, these New York teams, they've got high expectations, but the Knicks obviously have not been able to win. I mean, even the Yankees, they won. The Yankees, honestly, they won in '09, and this season they're in first place. The Yankees are the best team in baseball right now. Aaron Judge is looking like an MVP. If you guys want to see a Aaron Judge video, let me know down below. But the Knicks just, obviously, they haven't won a championship in a very long time, but that's because they haven't really built the roster the right way. I feel like trading for Donovan Mitchell kind of goes against this new look Knicks team. I mean, the Knicks are drafting their players, developing them, and I understand that the Knicks don't really have a superstar on the roster. Like RJ Barrett is a star, and I think he's going to be a multiple time All Star. But obviously, RJ Barrett isn't like Luka Doncic or Giannis or anything like that. But that's kind of why I do want Donovan Mitchell, because he would just be the start. Like if we trade for Donovan Mitchell, he's going to be able to lure in other free agents. Because if I'm a free agent, I'm looking at, oh my God, like the New York Knicks are interested in me. I could play next to Donovan Mitchell and RJ Barrett and Coach Thibodeau. And obviously the Knicks fan, like basically, obviously I've never played for a professional New York Knicks sports team because I suck at sports. But from what I heard, it's like when you're playing well in New York, it's the best thing in the world. And when you're playing poorly, it's the worst thing in the world. So you bring in a star, obviously he's going to be doing his thing. Like, for example, I know this is kind of a weird example, but like Kevin Durant, like let's say Kevin Durant was a free agent again and the Knicks had their current roster. Well, wow, they just traded for Donovan Mitchell and they brought in Kevin Durant. I mean, if the Knicks had Donovan Mitchell and Kevin Durant on the roster right now, I think we'd all be talking about the Knicks potentially being a championship contender. But that's why I'm just saying, like, the New York Knicks kind of have two choices. They're going to have to go up, they go after Donovan Mitchell, and then they could try to learn another star next to him, or they could not go after Donovan Mitchell, and they're going to have to strictly build through the draft and maybe free agency. But, like, right now, the New York Knicks obviously aren't a top free agent destination because they're not the best team. Like, if I'm a free agent, obviously I don't know if I would want to go to the Knicks necessarily because, I'm trying to win. Like, and obviously, it's kind of funny and ironic because, Kevin Durant went to Brooklyn and he's won, as many playoff series is I feel like the Knicks have. He hasn't really had any more success than the Knicks. So, yeah, honestly, Durant and Kyrie would have been much better off in New York because, Brooklyn just has been an abomination. But that's not really the purpose of this video. I was just giving you guys my thoughts is, like, I do think Donovan Mitchell to the Knicks would help us moving forward. But at the same time, I do want to see the Knicks fully commit to just strictly guys like Obi Toppin and Emmanuel Quickley and Quentin Grimes and Miles McBride. The question is, how do the Knicks get these star players? Like, will these Knicks players turn into stars? Because if you want to win a championship, you've got to have a superstar and you've got to have all-star. I mean, look at the Warriors, bro. Who's on their team? Steph Curry's a superstar. Andrew Wiggins is an all-star. And then they've got a bunch of great role players. I mean, Klay Thompson isn't what he used to be a couple seasons ago, but he's still good. Draymond Green's still good. So it just comes down to that, bro. It's like the New York Knicks, you guys got to let me know which direction you would like to see the team go. Do you want to go the route of, like, let's trade everything we have, basically, for Donovan Mitchell, pair him with RJ and, like, Randall? Maybe they would move Randall, I don't know. Or do you want to just look at the other side of it? And it's like, but I don't think the Knicks will do that. Like, I don't think the Knicks are going to move on from Coach Tibb and Randall and fully commit to the young guys. Because I just don't see the Knicks doing that, bro. That's why they want Donovan Mitchell. And they also brought in Brunson. So, like, that's tough because I don't know. I'm going to have to make another video because I was supposed to be doing a preview for next season. I'm going to have to do that in another video because now I'm really into what I'm saying right now. So, Jalen Brunson actually does help the rebuild because he's going to be able to get guys better looks, better shots, and help them be more efficient. Like, sure, Mano quickly is going to be getting less touches and less minutes and have a lesser role than if we weren't to bring in Brunson, but also like Emmanuel quickly is going to benefit off of Brunson. Like if you put Emmanuel quickly next to Brunson in the rotation, he's going to play better. He certainly isn't going to play worse. So Jalen Brunson's a good passer, a good scorer, and he's just going to take the eyes off of the other players. So RJ Barrett will benefit as well because like RJ Barrett is asked to guard the best wing defensively, and then he's also asked to score 20 points a game or more. And then of course he even has to do some playmaking because like Alec Burks was playing point guard. The Knicks were without Kemba Walker and Derrick Rose. So yeah, but outside of that, man, I'm just looking at Donovan Mitchell, and it's like I really do want him in New York, but I understand that if they do get Donovan Mitchell, like they're gonna have to make a lot work around that. Like they're definitely gonna have to move Randall because if the Knicks go into next season with Donovan Mitchell and the current roster, they would lose quickly. They would lose Quentin Grimes. They probably would lose like McBride, maybe even Cam Reddish. Like they're gonna lose players, but obviously they're gonna be in a better spot with Mitchell at least for next season. Like I think the Knicks, with their current roster right now, will probably be a playoff team. Maybe I don't honestly, not gonna lie, I don't know if we would be anything higher than like the 6th seed. Like I think the Knicks would be the 6 to 8 seed, just because I don't know if Julius Randle is gonna get back to his old self. He was in a contract season. I don't know if RJ Barrett is going to become an all-star next season. I certainly would bet my money on it, but like at the end of the day, I don't really know what's going to happen. So it's just going to come down to development, but also like Coach Tibb is still here, so like expect veterans to be playing. Like I don't think we're going to see like a lot, if any, of Miles McBride because Jalen Brunson's there. Like McBride was barely playing without Brunson. Now we've got Brunson. So, but if we look at the current New York Knicks, I guess I could still do the video, but let's look at the current New York Knicks rotation. So the point guards: Jalen Brunson, Emmanuel Quickly, Derrick Rose, Miles. So like Miles McBride is the 4th string point guard. Like we're not gonna see any of him, bro, unless there's some significant moves, which there won't be. And then the shooting guards, you've got Quentin Grimes and Evan Fournier. So Quentin Grimes is listed ahead of Evan Fournier. I don't know if that's accurate. I find it highly unlikely that Quentin Grimes is ahead of Evan Fournier in the rotation. Evan Fournier is a great shooter, and well, that's actually it. Evan Fournier, I don't really know too much about him besides that he can just shoot. And like obviously I watched him every game, but it's just like, what do I really say? Like he shoots, he's from 3, from the field. I think he actually was higher from 3 than the field. Or is that even possible? I don't know. Is that actually? I know because Randall was right, or is that seems like a weird stat. I wouldn't be surprised. We'll just look up that now. I'm kind of curious. Evan Fournier stats. So he was 41.7% from the field and 38.9% from 3. So yeah, but like I'd love if Quentin Grimes was ahead of Fournier, but I don't know if Quentin Grimes is like ready to start. He's not gonna be starting, but like I think Quentin Grimes should definitely be a key rotation piece for us, especially with how he played when he was healthy his rookie season in the summer league. Like he deserves it. But I don't really see Quentin Grimes checking into a game over Evan Fournier, knowing Coach Tibb. You guys can let me know if you disagree. And then like the small forward is RJ Barrett and Cam Reddish. It doesn't really get much better than that. RJ Barrett is an unbelievable player, even though I said he's not a superstar. He's still a borderline all-star, maybe even will become an all-star next season type of player. And then you've got Cam Reddish, who has a lot of upside, 3-and-D type of player. That's kind of what the Knicks are hoping that he can become. That's why they traded for him. And then for power forward, you've got Julius Randle and Obi Toppin. Center, Mitchell Robinson, Isaiah Hartenstein, and Jericho Sims. So I'd imagine that there's going to be Knicks fans that feel like they're going to be maybe even get it up to as high as the 4th seed, 4th or 5th seed. And then you have me, who's like, we're going to be 6 to 8 seed. And I don't think anyone's going to have the Knicks between a 1 to 3 seed. This is without Donovan Mitchell. But, like, yeah, sure. I honestly do think that the Knicks could be the 4th or the 5th seed. I wouldn't bet on it. But, like, Jalen Brunson is kind of what the Knicks need. Like, the Knicks were pretty competitive even though they had a bad record. Like, the Knicks were a pretty solid team, bro. Like, they were just missing that point guard that could create and knock down shots. Like, Emmanuel quickly did a hell of a good job late in the season when he was asked to, and he kind of had no choice because there was injuries. But yeah, like I don't know. I don't know. Maybe the 6 to 8 seed. Like, let me look at the NBA standings last season. NBA standings 2022. let's look at the seed. So who will be higher than the Knicks? The Heat, the Celtics, the Bucks, the Sixers, Raptors. You definitely have to put the Raptors. The Raptors were dealing with injuries and COVID like the whole year. I'm sure a lot of teams were, but the Raptors, that's 5 teams. The Bulls, I honestly think the Knicks will be better than the Bulls. I wouldn't be surprised at all. So, and then like we're gonna be better than the Nets. Where the Hawks will be better than us. I hope you guys would agree with that. Maybe not, but so that's like 6 teams right there. And again, things could change. But and then the Cavs, I think the Cavs will be better than us. I don't know. I know I'm a Knicks channel, and a lot of people probably wouldn't appreciate me saying that, but I don't know, man. I find it hard to believe that it's more. It's not even the roster. Like I'm not saying that these teams are going to be better than us because they're just a completely better team. It's just I don't believe in Randall and I don't believe in Coach Tip. And honestly, if you were to tell me that we would fire Coach Tip, we would trade Randall, and we would fully play the young guys, and we bring in a coach that develop them, and the Knicks would just be having fun out there and playing freely, then I'd be like, okay, well maybe I could possibly buy into being a better team than like the Cavs and stuff like that. But I just what I saw last season for the New York Knicks down the stretch, it meant a lot more to me than you guys apparently. Like I saw Obi Toppin and Quickly, and Quentin Grimes, like not really, but cause Quentin Grimes was just injured, bro. But specifically Quickly and Obi Toppin, like these two guys were playing out of their mind, and I just felt like that the Knicks really were a better team like that. So I know it sounds crazy. It's like you trade Randall and fire Tibb, like how are we gonna be better? But I just feel like the Knicks would really benefit off of Emmanuel Quickly playing because he can push the pace and he can shoot, and Emmanuel Quickly's just a good player, bro. And he's fast, and Obi Toppin can play without the ball in his hands. Like I don't know, man. I don't know how Randall is gonna even work with Brunson and RJ Barrett. Like Randall's gonna have to completely change his game is the thing. And like Obi Toppin, he can play with anyone. Like there isn't a single rotation in any team that like Obi couldn't fit into because he can cut, he can knock down the 3 ball. And I know Obi more so got picked up late in the season, his 3 ball. Like he's never actually been like the best shooter, but he was red hot down the last 5 games when Randall was shut down. We saw just a beautiful version of Obi Toppin, dude, specifically shooting the basketball. But outside of that, we kind of talked about Mitchell. We talked about the rotation. And I don't know, there's not really much to say. I mean, obviously Brunson and Barrett are going to play a ton of minutes. So is Julius Randle. Whether you like it or I like it, I don't like it, but there's nothing I can do about it. I'm just a fan. And yeah, I don't see Emmanuel Quickly playing a big role for the Knicks because of Derrick Rose, and specifically Derrick Rose just being healthy. And I mean, you look at Quickly right now, like Derrick Rose will be over him in the rotation. So you look at the point guards, like, dude. So I mean, Quickly's ranked over Rose in the rotation, but I don't know. Maybe you guys think that Quickly will get more minutes than Rose. He'll definitely. I don't know, man. It's just so hard to tell on paper because That's why I can't wait for the games to start. I'm so excited, but yeah, I'm probably gonna end it here, man. And let me know your guys' thoughts on the video, and I'll see you.